Slow flight is an important procedure for a number of reasons. Also called flight at minimum controlled airspeed, this performance maneuver develops your hand-eye coordination. It's also often the entry procedure to a power-off stall. And maybe most importantly, it's a way to learn the pitch and power control inputs used during the landing approach. This video lesson will provide an overview of the slow flight procedure and some of the important concepts you'll use to complete this maneuver. As you can see here, managing the slow flight procedure requires splitting your attention across every instrument and often involves configuration changes such as adding flaps. There's an entry procedure and a recovery procedure. And all of this combined means it's an excellent way to develop your precision of your skills and speed in your scan. And though the private pilot tolerances might not seem altogether challenging, keep in mind that you'll be doing all of this while flying on the backside of the power curve. As a student pilot, you'll have begun to develop some instinct about how to control the airplane and when to push forward, when to bank, etc. And slow flight turns all this on its head. So let's take a moment to describe this concept I just mentioned called operating on the backside of the power curve. What does that mean? Another common name for this is the region of reverse command. And though what we're looking at here is a simple description of aerodynamics, namely the relationship between thrust and various types of drags, the main thing I want you to focus on is here. You can see that this axis is showing us a relationship amongst these factors based on speed, and that the amount of power you need to counteract the drag goes down as your airspeed drops. But at some point, it goes back up again. And this area where we need to increase power to overcome that drag at low airspeeds is called the backside of the power curve. And it's where some of your flight inputs reverse. Let's look at this in action. Okay, so let's say that I'm flying along at 5,000 feet in cruise or normal flight. And if I want to climb, I simply pull back. And if I want to speed up, I just add more power. This is the high velocity part of that graph we just looked at. But what if I slow down? Okay, now the controls have flipped. When I'm operating at low airspeeds, if I want to climb or descend, then I need to do this with my power. Why? Because if I pitch back, then I'll slow down. And if I pitch forward, I'll speed up. This reverse control procedure takes practice, especially if you want to maintain a precise airspeed during training. But it plays an important role outside of training as well, namely, as I mentioned, in the traffic pattern. When you're descending to land in the traffic pattern, you'll be operating largely on the backside of the power curve. You are maintaining a specific airspeed and configuration, and if you pull back to climb, you can become dangerously slow. So learning slow flight is a way of developing this sense of how to control the aircraft in this condition and monitor your performance across the entire instrument panel.